Hi guys, it's Marsha and I am back, and I wanted to come back to you tonight before we start this very special evening of recognition at our virtual Jubilee, because it is very important, I think, to, in the 75th anniversary of Tupperware, to recognize the opportunity that it offers and a lifetime that we can spend with this business as well. Little did I know when I started my Tupperware business 40 years ago that I would still be here today. And who knows what the future holds. But what's great about it is knowing that you're in control and you can make that business what you want it to be, and it can adapt and change to whatever your needs are. Tonight, I want to take a minute to celebrate a very special person who saw what this business offered and took a leap of faith and decided to give it a chance. And this year, she celebrates her 45th year in Tupperware. And that's a big, big achievement to have made that many years a part of Tupperware. And she's done it in many, many different ways of adapting and changing. And I want to bring her up here because I truly think her story is an inspiration to each and every one of us as we look at the challenges that life brings us and whether we have what it takes to keep going, because we all do. But I'm going to ask her to share. She didn't know I'm doing this, so she's going to be really mad at me. But please join me in welcoming to the stage Marilyn and Forrest Robinson. And she says, "You didn't tell me, I would have changed clothes." Yeah. That's okay. You're a very, very special lady.
Oh, thank you.
You're such a special couple. Look at this. He's got his jazzed up Jubilee 2003 shirt on. You can't see him yet. Come on over here so they can see you. They can't see you. Let me get you on there. There we go. So I want them to see you. There you go.
Yeah, I said, why didn't you tell me you were going to wear one? I'd wear one too.
There you go.
But his is from 2003.
That's right. True Tupperware troopers, right? And so, Marilyn,
Will you see what I have for tomorrow?
Oh, good. I can't wait. I know. So Marilyn and Forrest drove down from Delaware to be here with us. Nice. And what year did you start in Tupperware?
1977.
That's right.
The same year my daughter was born.
That's right. So 44 years this year, celebrating.
I mean, 45
next month. Okay. Amazing, right? Where this business is taken. Your daughter was how old?
She was 5 months old.
5 months old. They were in a place you didn't know anybody.
Yeah, we were 1,000 miles away from family and friends, and had a 5-month-old colicky baby,
and you needed something to do, and you needed money.
I needed money. Never mind something to do.
Right. So, did you wait to go to a Tupperware party? Did you wait for somebody to ask you? What did you do?
No. I just wrote a letter to Tupperware. I couldn't afford a phone call because you had to pay for long-distance phone calls, and I couldn't afford it. So I wrote a letter to Tupperware and said, "I'd like to sell Tupperware."
And they said, sure.
And they set me up with somebody that came over, and she was working toward being a manager.
Okay. Awesome. And so where did it go from there?
Well,
how did you get parties started if you didn't know anybody?
I called up everybody in the phone book that I could pronounce their name.
Okay, I want y'all to think about that. How many of you would pick up a phone book and just call random names out of a phone book? Now, today, nobody uses their phone for anything anyway, right? And is there even a phone book around? But what that says is you can't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone.
Right. Yeah, I had no place to go besides the phone book, so I just called them all up, but I didn't have too much time. My daughter took her cat nap in between her crying spells, so I got on the phone as soon as she'd fall asleep and go down the alphabet. You wouldn't believe what my phone book looked like, making all these little notes. And I called everybody up and I said, "I'm new in Tupperware and I'd like to know if you want a Tupperware party." Had to get to it fast, yes or no. Tell me, if you say no, I'll go to the next person.
And I love that. Because, no is a reality, right? We're always going to get no's.
Well, that's right, and if they say yes or okay, then I'll talk to them. But I couldn't waste time. Time was very important for me.
I think, what's funny about that is because I've always said, sometimes people will go, let me think about it or whatever. It's like, I don't have time for you to think about it. Either you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it, right?
Right. That's about it.
Yep.
You know, and in fact, I remember going friend finding. We had to go friend finding at that time, and I don't know how many people here have knocked on everybody's door in the neighborhood, but we did a lot of friend finding, and somebody said, well, our distributor said, you have to work with the manager in different areas on a certain day. So I said, okay, so two of us went with the manager, and the manager took her out first friend finding, and then and I said, well, I'm not going to sit in the car while she's working doing friend finding because I'm paying for a babysitter. So I said, hell with it. I just went, I just got out of the car and started knocking on doors. And the first door I knocked on, I said, oh, I'm for Tupperware and I'm interested in dating some Tupperware parties. Oh, come on in, come on in. They dated a party and they were this fantastic party. And I said, I can't believe this.
This works. I mean, it
works. Yeah.
You know, and things like that still work today. They still do.
Yeah.
Because I know you're always such a great ambassador for Tupperware, and you've had some interesting challenges. Is that a good way to describe it? The last few years.
Yeah.
And you've defeated cancer how many times now?
Well, 5 years ago, I went in for my Medicare checkup thinking I was great. My doctor said, oh, I thought you were a piece of cake. He said, but there's something wrong with your red blood cell count. Turned out that I had a large cancerous tumor in the duodenum. I couldn't even swallow a pill cam. They took the pill cam endoscopy. I couldn't swallow it because it got stuck on the tumor. Couldn't swallow any foods, solid foods. So I went into Johns Hopkins, had the surgery done, 11-hour surgery, 3 weeks in the hospital. And after that, I'll tell you, I never did a Tupperware party after that. It was really kind of bad news. I came home. In order to go home after 3 weeks, I had to go home with a PIC tube in my, whatever you call it, PIC. I can't even think of the name. I have chemo brain. In my arm, a tube sticking out of my stomach, and I couldn't get out of bed. And so it was, I've had problems ever since. I had 2 years of chemo. It went from bad chemo to better chemo. While I was getting chemo, it seemed like everything disappeared, and then the cancer traveled. It traveled from my intestines to under my arm. So they put me on a stronger chemo. So if I have chemo brain, it's that stronger stuff. All I wanted to do was sleep and eat. And if you saw me eating a lot, it's not unusual.
That's all right.
I used to get up in the middle of the night and make an egg omelet in the Tupperware egg.
And the
breakfast maker.
Right.
Yeah. Now, what I want to say, I wanted to share this with you guys because, you know, Marilyn to me is an inspiration, and Marilyn was a business leader as well. And when all of this started to happen, and she decided, you know, that she didn't want to be there anymore, but they gave her the choice of being somewhere. And she chose us, which makes me feel really good that she chose to be with us, and we really appreciate that. But I want to say this to all of you who see difficulty and think, well, I'm just going to give up, because she has never lost title as a manager, even through this entire experience with cancer. I mean, that is amazing, truly amazing. And she called me a few weeks ago, and she goes, I'm ready to retire. And I go, no, you're not. And she goes, I'm ready to retire. And I go, no, you're not. And I said, well, we'll just let it slide. We'll just let it go, and let's let it be what it's going to be, and we'll work together and keep going. But we wanted to take this time to celebrate you, the inspiration that you are, the example that you are, and how much we appreciate all that you do. And of course, as I said, you know, roses are the symbol of our beautiful business and the people that are part of our business. And so I wanted you to have this to let you know we do appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll let you hold them for us, because it's kind of heavy. I don't want to. There you go. But you guys, join me in celebrating this beautiful lady, Marilyn Robinson, and her fantastic, supportive husband,
I felt close to Marcia when we were distributors together. We owned a franchise for 20 years, and I always felt comfortable with her. I always felt like she was one that could help me. Everybody else was kind of fighting me. You know, it's like, if you got something, I want something better or whatever. But nobody would help me, especially the people in my own area. And I said, that's wrong. You know, you can't do that to people. But not Marcia. Marcia was help anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So guys, I want you to take this story and I want you to make a story for yourself that shows how strong you are, that you're a fighter and that you can make things happen. And just say, I'm going to pull a Marilyn. That's what I want you to do. When life hits you hard, you're going to go, I'm going to pull a Marilyn. I'm going to keep going and we're going to make big things happen. So thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.